Happy Thursday. Ginger Zee in the kitchen, my kitchen. Hope everybody's doing well. I usually start these and just like dive into cooking and don't say anything like I should, the greeting that you should. I hope everybody's healthy, I hope everyone is well, and I hope everyone's pumped because I am. We get Chef Anne Burrell joining us today. She's going to be with us in the kitchen. She's got a special chicken dish that it is, I think I've prepped it right, I don't know. But you know her from Food Network, you know her from Worst Cooks, and now she's got a celebrity edition coming out. So she's going to join us in just a moment, and she's got a special guest with her, which I think makes it even more exciting. Because you know what? You know what this weekend is? It's Mother's Day. And so when Anne comes in here,
here.
That's yours.
Yes. Hi, Ginger.
how are you?
Great. How are you?
Great.
Do you have another one?
I always think about poached eggs when I see you because you taught me how to make one.
I taught you how to do what?
A poached egg.
Oh, yay. I love a poached egg. All right, here, put that one here, and then you hold mine. I taught you how to do what? So we have two phones working here.
Got it. And,
We good?
Yeah. Do you want volume?
Yeah, I think one's going to be better.
Okay. So.
All right. We're trying to get all of our, there we go. Okay. Hi, how are you?
so Chef Anne Burrell and a special guest, Marlene, right? Your mom?
This is my mom. Her name is Marlene, but we affectionately call her Malls. So she's cooking with me today.
I am so happy that she's with us in the kitchen. I imagine she was instrumental in your chefdom.
She was. I mean, my mom has historically been a great cook. My mom always attributes that I became a cook or a chef because of Julia Child, but it was really my mom.
Usually is. Moms do it all, don't they? So I'm really happy that she's with us and so happy that we get to talk not just about the new show, because I was a judge on Worst Cooks, but now you've got a celebrity edition. So we're pumped to talk about that. But you have like a pretty exciting meal. My family is going to be loving this. I already know. Like it's not even made yet, but I feel like it's going to be a good one. You are going to help me out. Tell us what we're making today.
So we are making Chicken Milanese, which is breaded chicken cutlets. Hi, Hobbs. Breaded chicken cutlets with Utica greens. I thought, you know, Utica, New York is not far from where I'm sheltering with my family. I'm sheltering in the little town that I grew up in called Cazenovia, which is about 20 miles outside of Syracuse. And Utica greens are on the menu all over the place around here. So I decided to make my Anne Burrell version of it.
And Anne, is everybody doing well? I want to make sure before we start, before we dive in, everybody's healthy, happy?
Everyone is healthy. Everyone's happy. There's 9 of us sheltering together. So it's like I'm cooking a couple meals a day, and that includes 2 vegans, and my mom is gluten-free. So, you know, it's almost easier to cook in a restaurant. And the only one that is not healthy is me. I have like a big fat sprained ankle. I thought it was broken. Thank God it's not, but I'm hobbling around on a boot.
I saw you did that, and I saw an update because I follow you. Congratulations, best wishes, you're engaged.
Yes, it's like, I mean, it's been a crazy time up here in Cazenovia, but yes, my now fiance and I got engaged a couple of weeks ago. Super, I mean, all exciting. And the silver lining in all this is that my family was all around when it happened, and so that wouldn't have happened otherwise. So I take that as a blessing.
A very long celebration. So let's keep celebrating. Let's make some chicken Milanese and the Utica greens. I think I have everything kind of set up, except I saw that the chicken should be breaded and then kept for an hour. I did not do that, so I hope that's okay.
So, I mean, not everyone thinks ahead. So I have done a couple of our chicken breasts ahead. We have one to still put through the standard breading procedure, which is flour, egg wash, breadcrumbs. If you don't think to do it ahead, it's not a big whoop. It just makes it a little bit more optimal. Like you get a better crust on the outside of it. For you know, but if you don't, it's okay. And just for the record, You can use gluten-free flour and breadcrumbs for this, which is what we're doing today.
Okay.
So, Malls, would you like to get started? So we have a chicken breast that I've flattened with a pan a little bit. We're going to season that, and then flour, then egg wash and breadcrumbs. You can go ahead and let that rip.
Okay. I've been told you do it up here so you know where it goes.
Right? Nice even coating.
Well, I don't know how even it is, but
Right, both sides.
okay, both sides.
Mom, you know how to cook.
She's like, but I'm sure the relationship has changed with cooking, with your success, Anne.
Well, I mean, you know, my mom has always been a great cook, but she always says, I don't know what it is you're making, but she really does. But all right, there we go. Flour. So you use one hand for dry stuff and one hand for wet stuff, and it prevents the clumps on your fingers. So shake off any excess flour. Yep, make sure it's all coated. So the reason you do flour, then egg wash, then breadcrumbs, is so that when you drop it in, there you go.
Okay.
So then that the egg wash doesn't slide off. So you do flour so the egg wash sticks to the chicken, and then the breadcrumbs, and there's a little Romano cheese. You can pat it right in there. Right. Turn it over.
So I have a quick question about the Romano cheese. I didn't have Pecorino Romano. I had Pecorino Toscano, and I grated it myself, but then I realized that's probably too wet, right? Or can I?
No, I'm sure it's fine. It'll be fine. I mean, because it's really about the flavor more than about the breading.
Okay.
So there we go, and then right onto that tray where we have the rest of them standing by. All right, you do a hand wash. I'll get rid of this. Okay, so our chicken is breaded and standing by. So in the meantime, we're going to get started with the Utica greens.
Okay. So, and what kind of oil are you pouring, by the way?
So I have a big saute pan that I'm putting a little bit of olive oil in, a couple of tablespoons, and I'm going to bring that up to like a medium-high heat.
Okay.
There we go. All right. Here, Miles, you want to toss some breadcrumbs? So we have breadcrumbs. And
All of them?
All of them. Go ahead.
If you're just Chef Anne Burrell, her mom,
Okay.
and we are making a chicken Milanese, and I'm trying to catch up. I'm a little behind.
That's all right. We're not in a rush here. So we have some olive oil, some breadcrumbs, and some garlic in there. Now let's just go ahead. So we're just kind of toasting these guys. This is what's going to finish the greens. And I have a half a teaspoon of dried oregano.
Oh, okay. I'm going to go on to that then. Great.
So I'm going to give you a drop more oil. So we just want to make these like toasty and brown and crunchy and really nicely flavored.
Now is a half a cup, you said, or a cup?
A half a cup of breadcrumbs, half a cup of a half a cup of breadcrumbs, a couple tablespoons of olive oil,
Okay. I'm coming back.
smashed
Sorry.
and chopped garlic.
Oh, Brando.
We're going to toast these, and then we're going to turn the burner off, and we're stirring the cheese.
And can you use regular panko like apple?
Can we use regular breadcrumbs?
Yeah, versus like panko. Does it have to be panko?
You can totally use regular breadcrumbs. I just like panko because it's nice and crunchy. I really like the texture of that. So looking good. Make sure I get all the way around, all the corners. And so then once our breadcrumbs are nice and toasty, so you want them to get a little bit of brown because this is going to finish the whole green situation. Nice.
Okay.
And it's already starting to smell delicious in here. Good job, Malls. Here, wait, I want to get all these right around in the corner.
All's adorable. I love seeing her.
So this is also funny because for years in my little town, my mom had a flower shop, and her birthday is May 9th, which is right before Mother's Day. So every year on the busiest weekend of the year was Mother's Day and her birthday. So she got rooked out of it every year. So this year We're really taking care of her.
Yes. Oh.
All right. So things are starting to get nice and toasty. It smells really good in here. All right. One more little sec on that. And then I'm going to stir in our cheese. And then we're going to take this right off the burner. We're going to take these breadcrumbs out of the pan. And then we're going to make the Utica greens right in the same pan.
And that's more pecorino, right? Like a half a cup, you said?
Yep. Another half a cup of pecorino. All right. There we go. Oh, yeah.
Oh, they're brown.
That smells great. Okay, so then we're going to put these right back in here. There, can I take that? I'll do the heavy lifting. All right, there we go. So get all the breadcrumbs out of there.
Yeah.
So now I'm going to take that same pan and we're going to coat it pretty generously with olive oil. And we're going to throw in the prosciutto. So that's about a quarter cup of diced prosciutto. So the thing with prosciutto, when you're going to cut it like this, you're going to cut it really small. One little trick that I have to save money is like when I go to, an Italian butcher or something. I mean, I live in New York, so I go to Faico's on Bleecker Street. But you can ask them to buy the prosciutto ends, like the part that they would probably just throw away, or you can use it to just chop it up really fine, and they probably will sell you a hunk of it, like the odds and ends for like a couple of dollars. It saves lots of money.
Okay.
All right. So prosciutto looking nice and golden. I'm going to throw in my garlic now.
And the stir.
Yes.
And the mixer.
This is a chef facial right here. Doesn't that sound delicious? All right. And then my favorite part of Utica greens is the pickled hot cherry peppers with their juice.
Yeah, I've got those. Those are like,
Every time I even think of those, my mouth waters.
yeah.
Okay. So things are moving along really nicely. I have a head of escarole that I've cut into like 1 inch sort of length. I washed them and left them pretty wet because I'm just going to put that all in there. And then we're going to put a lid on this and just kind of steam it.
Okay.
A lot of times when people make Utica greens, they blanch the escarole first, which I don't know. I like to keep all the flavors of the escarole and stuff in the escarole. So I just go ahead and steam it all in the same pan.
Okay. And that was, you take out, oh, sorry, I missed that step.
So I took the breadcrumbs out. Then I put in new olive oil, the prosciutto, and I sauteed it around till it got nice and golden.
Yeah.
Threw in the garlic until it got really deliciously light golden and really aromatic. It makes me hungry right away. And then we threw in the slivered hot cherry peppers and their juice and the damp escarole. And now it's just steaming.
Got it.
So I'm just going to give this like a little bit of a stir. And we can see this all starting to cook down and everything already. All of these flavors are coming together really nicely. Hey, Miles, do you want to give me a sprinkly dink of salt?
All of a sudden, when we got the prosciutto, I suddenly got a friend. Look at this.
Who do we have?
That is Brando.
Hi, Brando.
Brando is our rescue, and he's been with us for about 2.5 months, and he's really starting to get comfortable.
Right? Well, it must smell really good in your kitchen, Brando, right?
Good.
Okay, so while the Utica greens are steaming, we can go ahead and cook our chicken.
Okay. You say hi, Ann. Hi, Bowles.
Hi. Hi, Brando. Okay. So we have a saute pan that I've coated fairly generously with olive oil. Here, I'm going to use Tom's for this. And so I have 4 pieces of chicken here. We want to make sure that the oil is nice and hot when you put it in. You see everything kind of starting to sizzle. So there we go. I'm going to wait one more hot second. And then I'm just going to cook 2 at a time till they're really nice and golden brown. You don't want to crowd the pan because that will prevent things from getting really nice and crispy. You don't want like chicken Milanese that's like soggy and mealy. You want nice and crispy, crunchy on the outside.
And I saw in there, it's just really like 2 to 4 minutes on each side. That's all it takes?
So yes, because the chicken breasts are really thin. And so when we do these, we're going to cook them to golden brown on both sides. And then when I'm doing the second batch, I just pop them into the oven so they stay nice and hot.
Nice. Okay. Now, while we're cooking the chicken, can you tell me about the upcoming season? I know that I saw Wells Adams from The Bachelor, and guys, you've got a couple of celebrity editions.
So we have Wells Adams, we have Johnny Bananas, who actually is Bananas. He was something else. We have Sonia Morgan, who is from Real Housewives of New York, and she is just so delightfully kooky and nutty. I really enjoyed her. And we have Bridget Everett. We had Dave Coulier. I mean, it was a great and super fun cast this time, but it always is. And, you know, it's always like, oh, celebrities just like us. They don't know how to cook.
Well,
So we're just going to take a little look-see here. See, we're not quite golden brown yet, so we're going to let it keep going. So, and the idea is you kind of want a lazy fry on this. You don't want it to be like too crazy pants because you don't want things to get tough on the outside. You don't want it to cook too fast where the chicken doesn't cook all the way through. But you want your chicken really nice and succulent and juicy on the inside. So I like to go on sort of like, instead of like a kind of fry, I like to go sort of more of a jacuzzi kind of fry.
okay.
So we'll take a little look-see. Oh, yeah. Beautiful things happening.
Nice. That looks so good. And so up there, are you getting, that's not your normal, what did it take getting used to?
I'm sorry, up here, are we getting one?
That's not the kitchen that you work in all the time. Has it taken you a little to get used to it?
So, well, this is my mom's kitchen. I mean, it's like a beautiful, lovely kitchen. But yes, no, this is not my normal kitchen. And so I'm always, so my mom lives on the 3rd floor of her building. We're sheltering downstairs in the 2nd story. And I'm telling you, running up and down the stairs has really helped with all the food that I'm eating. All right, look at that. That's what we're looking for. All right, that's sexy. Okay, so my Utica greens, I have taken the lid off, and I'm just going to cook it. Look, it's amazing how much it cooks down. But I'm going to let this water all reduce, and then we're going to sprinkle our breadcrumbs on and throw it in the broiler just for a second until those breadcrumbs even get more crispy, and that's the topping of Utica greens. So you've got like the pickled hot cherry peppers, the salty prosciutto. We have a nod to a vegetable. Oh no!
What is it?
Oh no!
It's the fire.
That's our fire alarm. Welcome to cooking at home.
You know how good that makes me feel, because that happens way too
We're
long.
opening a window. Sorry, Cinder.
No, it's okay. We can still hear you. It's perfect.
Oh my gosh, this is hilarious. Okay. Woo! It always is exciting. All right. So look at our chicken looks really great on both sides. I've got a little blotter here that we take off the excess oil. And then we're just going to do the other
Show you. I'm
pieces of chicken. All right. You want to salt those?
I'm still on the
There we go.
prosciutto. It is smelling so good.
Oh, goody. All right, so chicken, there we go. We're going to keep that in the oven. Now, my greens, the liquid is just about done cooking away. Take that off. All right, so we're going to top it with these breadcrumbs. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
The a meal that Malls made you when you were young, or is this something that you've done since?
So, I mean, we did not have this. We did not. I don't think you ever made this growing up.
No, I mean, I didn't even know about them, but never been to Utica.
You've never been to Utica?
Oh,
Even
no.
I've been to Utica. All right, so we're going to just toss this in the oven for a second. But, so I, though, will say I have been a huge fan of escarole for years. Like, everyone's on, like, the kale kick, and I'm like, no, not kale for me. I'm an escarole girl. So, you know, to me, I want to be on the PR team that is going to take escarole to the level of kale.
You're going to be the escarole PR.
Right. Exactly.
I know who like does the PR for Brussels sprouts and kale because they have. I want to hire them. Like they're good.
Right? I know. Whoever was on the kale council, man, they really earned their money
And
there.
quinoa? I mean, are you kidding me?
Right? I know, right? Quinoa. I'm like, my nieces who are vegans don't even like quinoa.
So,
My mom likes quinoa though.
I
All
like
right.
it.
So, all right, we're just the breadcrumbs on the top of our Utica greens are just browning up a little bit. Chicken is just finishing. These guys, we're frying ever so gently. Hopefully, the fire alarm doesn't go back.
The fan is on.
All right, there we go. So, how are you, Ginger? Where are you these days?
I am home. We've been home this whole time, which is great. I'm working with like a full studio in the basement.
Oh my
they
gosh.
built like it. I don't ever have to go back. Like that's how perfect we got it at this point.
I mean, like I've been thinking about when all of this is over, how productions are going to change and stuff like that. I mean,
I think there's real change coming. That's for sure. And now that you've had time to spend together, I'm sure this is just unbelievable. Because like you and me, we both travel. We both are always on the go. Malls, now that you've had this time, can you tell us a story maybe from the last couple weeks or maybe from when Anne was young that would, you know, give us a little...
she wants to know a story about me from when either the last couple of weeks or when I was young, and she wants something embarrassing.
Oh,
Oh, there's plenty of those.
let's see. Oh, gosh. What did you do that was embarrassing this week? That's the one I like.
Oh, all right, go ahead, tell me what I did that was embarrassing. I can hardly wait what this is
No,
going to
I'm not sure what I'm trying. How about you, Javi? What can you tell me?
Oh, I don't know.
I mean, you can tell
Your
that
cat?
I never read the recipes when I was a kid.
Oh, well, that's true. She never read recipes, is right. And so the first time she made a box cake, and she didn't read the recipe, we had 4 box cakes to fill up the liquid.
Oh my God. Yes, I used to get so excited to cook that I would just run down the list of ingredients and just start putting everything together. And then I would be like, Mom! And she'd be like, you did it again? And so now the people ask, like, what's the #1 thing I should know when I'm learning how to cook? And I'm like, read the recipe first.
Because moms know best.
Moms are always right. And I'm like, really? She has to be right about everything, but, you know, that's how moms roll.
Was
I burned that.
Malls, was Anne a good girl?
Was she a good girl?
Ginger? No.
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 Well, she was always busy. That's what I can say. She was always a step ahead of where I was.
So it's actually really funny because with all this homeschooling, like my sister's kids and my fiance's son, and they're learning, doing all this stuff from home on their computers. And I think about that and I'm like, if that had been me, I wouldn't have learned anything. I mean, I was a bad enough student in grade school and high school anyway. I mean, forget it. Me homeschooling myself, no, it just wouldn't have happened.
That's the
Well, I
story.
know a story I can tell about Anne when she was in high school. She took home ec, and she failed home ec. Cooking.
That is a true story. I failed. I did not do well in cooking class in high school.
Because you didn't follow direction?
Yeah.
Because I didn't follow directions and because I was kind of bad at cleaning up. So that might have been a true story. But, you know, Mrs. Stewart, my home economics teacher, the class was actually called Cooking with a Flair. And, right, apparently I didn't have much flair. But how do you like me now, Mrs. Stewart? All right, so here we go. We're about done with everything now. All right, so.
I got my greens. That's good. I'm chicken after. I'm just behind. Wait, where was the onion? Shoot, I missed it.
Oh my God, I forgot the onions. Oh my God, the fire alarm distracted me. So it would have been prosciutto. Look, it happens to all of us. So, you know, if you're home and you're cooking and you miss a little thing, hey, don't sweat it. Your dish will still be delicious, hopefully. But it happens to all of us. So beef prosciutto, get the prosciutto done, and then onions, garlic, cherry peppers. I'm like, oh man, I'm so nervous.
That's all right. Hey.
This is taking me back to flashbacks of cooking with a flair. Okay, so then we have our Utica greens. All right, let's just place these guys. So they're nice and crispy, crunchy on top. We have all the prosciutto, the pickled hot cherry peppers, and we're gonna lean those right on there. We're gonna make sure we get some of all the colors and all the crunchy parts. There we go, yum. That makes me happy. Here, you can start, Moss.
Okay, there's for you.
All right, let me know how I did.
Yes.
How are you doing, Ginger?
Everybody's good. We're just, you know, the homeschooling thing was truly the most stressful parts of my day are when I have to sit and I'm like, and he's only 4, and I still am trying the right glue stick and the right color. I can't imagine how they're doing it with that. I feel that we don't have, you know, anything else to be. Same thing. We're just outside of New York, so all of the wildness, you know, these counties are all, you know, have a ton of action with the coronavirus, but everything seems to be getting better. So I'm hopeful. That's the best word.
I mean, I'm like my kingdom for the day that I can go out to a restaurant again, or just, I mean, you think about all the things that you miss from regular life. I miss going to Rangers games. I miss going out to sing karaoke. I mean, I miss going for like a Korean salt scrub and massage. I mean, I'm missing. But there's also, I mean, to have this much time with my family is so amazing.
It is, and that's I feel very fortunate. But then it's like I feel horrible that it's coming at this cost. There was a time in many times in my career where I've pushed myself too hard, and I've almost wished something's like maybe I could just break my leg a little. That sounds horrible to say,
Right.
but
Right.
so that I break. And then, you know, this is not. I didn't want the world to break a leg. Like this is not what I wanted for it to slow down. But I've been trying to take it.
I really do hope, though, after this, that everyone is kind of taking a little lesson and to be like, all right, let's figure out like what's important and, you know, make sort of better priorities.
Since you're so involved in the restaurant world, I think that's a really great, I know that it's very difficult. I was on a COVID relief charity thing last night. It's hard because even if restaurants are trying to open at a quarter capacity or something, isn't that almost impossible? Aren't they working on like really small margins? Like, how do we help? Do you know, is there?
So restaurants in general work on really small margins. So, I mean, to me, it hurts my heart, and I feel for so many of my friends that have restaurants that are going to try to open back up because the cost of doing business is still the same. But what you have coming in is a quarter of what you had before. Right. So, I mean, when life gets back to normal or whatever we're going to call that, you know, we're going to see so many restaurants that we all know and loved that are not going to be there anymore. And it hurts me. It makes me so sad.
That's hard for me too. The industry for 10 years while I was starting in television. I was bartending on the side, I was serving on the side, and you think about that money, the tips that you're based on, you have nothing. I mean, it's wild to think about that. So anyway, you have a final product, I know, right? You've got
how does it look? How are you loving it? Did you try it yet? We're trying ours right now.
The Utica greens are great.
I only take
a trip to Utica.
But it looks spectacular.
is like every single thing I wanted it to be.
But I
The
noticed
greens are like spicy and salty and vinegary. But the greens still have a little bit of integrity to them. You know, they still have some crunch. The chicken itself is like super crispy, crunchy on the outside, but really moist and succulent on the inside. And they go, like, if you take a bite of both of them together, makes me happy.
Malls looks, she's got a smile. So Malls, you agree?
See, you know, for all the trouble I caused my mom, I'm happy to put a smile on her face that I'm an adult.
Yes. Well, I am so glad that we got to do this together. Happy Mother's Day, Malls. I'm so
Well,
happy
thank you.
you all are together celebrating and that you get a delicious meal. And she gets to make up being, see, I love learning the dirt. Thank you.
Right? I mean, of course, that's the question you would ask. Yes, and of course you would remember.
Of course.
I failed cooking in high school.
Where's,
But Ginger, this has been amazing. It's always so nice to see you. Please say hi to Ben. And I hope that you guys are great.
thank you. Worst Cooks in America Celebrity Edition, Food Network. Check it out. It's coming
Sunday
up.
night, 9 o'clock, Mother's Day.
Yes, that's right.
We'll see you there. Thank you, Anne. Thank you, Malls. Great to have
Thank you
you.
so much.
Thank you, Ginger.
Bye.